All right, we're recording. Welcome, everybody. Good morning in the U.S. Good day for the rest of you. And I am in the Central Time Zone, so I have my coffee, and I'm excited for this one. So no matter what time of day. Got a good group. The topic today is about navigating PeopleSoft. So there's a lot of new features in PeopleSoft. The amount of investment that the Oracle PeopleSoft team has put into PeopleSoft, I think, is outstanding. But I still see from our clients, I'm Bill Gibbard. I work for a consulting company in the space, and I still see a lot of clients using old navigation principles. So today I'm here to shame you and encourage you to use something better, more faster and more effective and more efficient. So feel free to vote on those polls, and I'm going to get started. And if you want to hold me accountable to 8 great ways, I did do a count at the end. And so feel free to write them down. Maybe we'll give out a prize for someone at the end who can name all 8. All right, real quick again, I'm Bill Gibbard. I work for Newbury Enterprise Services. We're a division of Gideon Taylor. Like most PeopleSoft consulting partners, we're pretty full service. Like a few things that maybe differentiate us that are navigation related, why I'm maybe qualified here for you to give me your morning today. A lot of what we do is around business process and optimizing the business process. So we have an eForms product, which is a great, we'll show that real quickly today. It's a great way to navigate PeopleSoft. We can help customers stay always current. We can help automate your testing as a service. We don't always use PTF. Some of you like the tool, some of you do not. And we have other tools for that. We're a partner with UiPath as well as with Oracle. And so we do a lot of robotic process automation. If you want to know more about that, we did a mini session a day or two ago that's recorded. And of course, lift and shifts to the cloud. You've probably all seen chatbots and cloud sessions all week, maybe tired of all that. So hopefully this is, we do all that, but this is a chance to come in and say, how can I just improve my employees' experience? Like, they're grumbling a little bit. We've had PeopleSoft for 5, 10, 15, 20 years. Anyone longer? Raise a hand. Anyone longer than 20 years on PeopleSoft? I think there's a show of hands or a reaction on there, even just a party reaction for that one. Yeah, there we go. Andre, thumbs up. Yeah, Holger, absolutely. So some of the way we navigate, it takes a little bit of a project to change it, right? They're small, but if we don't do them because we're always busy with other things, then we're still using navigation principles that have been around too long. So Oracle is definitely still investing in PeopleSoft. I'm going to flip through quickly. This is supposed to be a mini session. So, so instead of an hour, it's 55 minutes. We'll see if we can get you out of here earlier than that too. Start your days. This slide, I really just wanted to again point out, Oracle has really invested heavily. There's a lot of topics, right? The Picasso's on here, the Fluid's on here, Oracle Cloud Infrastructure's on here. How much of this are you using? And what we're finding as we talk to many customers is, if you end up not using this and you don't do these things, it really impacts your efficiency. And all of a sudden, 3-5 years from now, you get a new CIO and they look at your system and go, wow, that's archaic. PeopleSoft must be archaic. But you're here this week, and you're up early on a Thursday, so I assume that I'm preaching to the choir, and that it's not. You just have to update these things, and it'll cost you millions less than switching to another software package, right? And all because you didn't do the $20,000 improve the usability type study. So don't be penny-wise pound foolish. Don't let the opportunity pass you by. Please do uptake as you can. Use your own mute if you can. Getting some feedback. I don't know if I can mute all.
Yeah, you might want to do that.
I think I can mute all, huh? Okay. I assume you guys can still hear me. Holger, give me a thumbs up. You can still hear me. I'm not muted. Feel free to unmute yourself if you want to ask a question as we go. And for those who showed up a little bit late, thank you. I'm using the poll feature over on the Pathable. Hopefully later on we'll display the results of the polls. Who's using what, right? which of all these new features are people using? You'll get to see, hey, we're one of the 10% not using something. You might be able to take that to your manager to help justify an optimization project. Again, Oracle has pushed out a ton of new features that help usability. Are you using them? Our view, Newbury's view, my view, maybe personal on what the Oracle PeopleSoft team has done. They've done a fabulous job. A lot of it's come through people tools. I'll talk about that in my next slide, but they've made it configurable, but they've given you like a people tools upgrades fast and cheap and easy. Why wouldn't you do it? You should do the image updates as well, but do your people tools ones more regularly and then uptake the things from them. They're configurable. They're not, if you're functional and you're on here, your business user on here, don't turn me off because I'm saying people tools, right? It's some of it is there for you. So, and not the techs and the sysadmins and the developers. And a lot of them are, actionable, right? So we're talking about navigation, so actionable, but within your business process. I think you'll get an idea of that as I go. All right, so people tools, again, a tip of the cap to the Oracle PeopleSoft team. I'm just showing on this page, this is just my notes, this is not Oracle. Each release since the 8.5.0, work centers are 11 years old. If you're not using them yet, like, right, Pivot Grids turns 9 this month, 9 years old. We'll have a big birthday party on my Twitter account, follow me. Fluid is 7. If you're still in the process of uptaking Fluid, it's been going on 7 years, right? So again, I'm just here to shame us all if we're not doing these things and encourage us to be better. Elasticsearch is 6. If you tried the old Secure Enterprise Search, SES, and you didn't like it, and then every time someone said search, you just plugged your ears, I'm here to say, unplug your ears. The new Elasticsearch is fantastic. It's been out 6 years now, and a lot of enhancements are built off of that, right? If you stick around to the end of this, you'll see that search is my favorite of my 8 great ways. But I don't want to release that early. All right. Show of hands again. Who sees this when you log into PeopleSoft, or your users, right? If you're in IT, who still has a user community that sees this? This is the rotary dial phone, right? I remember it on my wall growing up. I'm old enough, right? I'm still picturing grandma's wall though, right? This is the rotary dial phone. Who's using it? I've been doing a similar presentation here for years, and I used to get a lot more hands. No one will admit it, but all right, a few of you know you are. And really, this came out. So this is like version 8.0, right? We took PeopleSoft onto the browser, right? No code on the client, but it's the same menu structure that was there with PS Menu Deppin, right? You needed this before the internet was invented. You don't really need this menu navigation anymore, right? You're not productive. Even this one, you're like, hey, it looks so much better. Yes, I'm using this one, Bill. This is great. No, it's not. It's really not. Even the newest, here's 8.5.9 I'm displaying now, right? And now it's alphabetical. Like, we've come a long ways in PeopleSoft. No, it's not. Stop using this. There are much better ways to navigate PeopleSoft. This isn't contextual. This is you memorizing 4 clicks to get to the page you want, right? And you got 100 business processes you do. You got to remember 4 clicks times 100. It'll never happen. For new people coming in, geez, why are my coworkers all my age and older? Gen Z should be taking over. The millennials should be taking over, and they don't want to see this. Trust me. So there are better ways, and we will cover some of them today. All right. This might seem like a different topic. I'll tie it all in a minute. Do you feel like you're in the query business, right? How many of you have thousands of queries and your naming convention is so you can get to them all, right? That's crazy. I've seen crazy things. All right, we're doing the thumbs up again. I love this. You guys have had as much coffee as me today. So yeah, you're in the query business. Well, I say good. That's great. You're trying to get information out of all that data, right? One of the strengths of PeopleSoft when you picked it is it was flexible, but it also had a ton of data in your ERP and your HCM. So you're trying to get information out, and you're using the right tool. You're just only using the first tool, right? Now you can take that query and put it into any one of these. These aren't the 8 grade. I'm going to cover a handful of these, but they only give me 55 minutes. So these are all different tools in your tool belt. Almost all of them are based on you querying data and trying to make information, and now you can make it really pretty and put it in visualizations and put it on home pages. So you have to figure out, so your job, if you're IT or even if you're a user, what's the right one of these tools, because there's a lot of them now, that should give the information to the user at the right place at the right time. All right, so I'll try to simplify that answer a little bit, right? So you started with query there. All right, and then what did I say? Pivot Grids was like 9 years old or something, So that's been out a long time, and that was a way to like put a chart or pivot grid on PeopleSoft. And when I first saw it, I was like, oh my God, this is awesome! Like PeopleSoft's about to revolutionize it, right? And it took 9 years, but here we are. Simplified Analytics says, hey, and I want you, the user, to be able to build them. I don't need IT to build me a pivot grid, right? Let's simplify them a little bit. And now we can put them in different places. And then analytic notifications to me is like the next evolution. I guess it's been out now, 857's at least a couple of years. And notify me when, I don't know, when I'm close to my budget. When I'm within 15% of my budget, I want you to notify me, right? Or whatever this example is, And I can have a pivot grid, and I can have a bar chart, and I can have a threshold, and you can send me a notification up in the corner there, an alert. Hey, you're within 15% of your budget, or whatever your analytic is. So pretty cool. Now, how's that navigation? Well, I'll show you, but getting information pushed to you and then saying, now I need to do something with that, right? Now I need to, this is really a business process discussion, but navigation in PeopleSoft is saying, how do I take that business process and navigate into the right page? Well, throw me an alert. I'll hop right into the analytic, and from there I can hop right into the page where I fix the problem, right? In this case, just increase the budget. Trust me, it works. But you could send an alert to the project manager. You could, that kicks off a business process of calling your department chief or your customer, whoever approves budget overruns and things, right? So you can see how this helps you navigate into PeopleSoft contextually with what's the problem, right? I got and not an email, right? That's old school now. Who's still doing emails? I got an alert. I got a text on my phone. I woke up within 15% of my budget. It starts a business process, and I can contextually navigate the system without ever thinking menu structure, right? All right, here's the fun part. Here's the demo. And we'll start our count of what are our 8 great ways. Any chat there, Scott, I should stop for? Hopefully I'm sharing the right screen.
Nope, you're good.
Leanne says we're not. Okay. Excellent. I'll pause for a minute. If anyone has questions, you guys can fill out the chat. How's the poll coming along, Scott? For those who came in a little late, we did start to go back to the Pathable in their browser, in the agenda for the whole conference, and you go to this meeting, 8 great ways to navigate PeopleSoft. There, I did a series of polls. I thought people would be interested to see how many people are on what version of tools. Looks like 858's the big one. A lot of people using home pages and tiles already. Excellent. And then they're, are you using Work Center? Are they using Secure Enterprise Search? So, all right, that's there for you if you want to watch the demo and/or go fill out the polls. Okay, so looks like 70-some% of you are already using home pages, tiles, dashboards. I kind of count all those as one of my 8 great ways. These are different home pages. Most people won't log in as VP1, right, and have or PS, right, and have every dashboard, right? Most of your folks will have employee self-service, so this is a great dashboard to show. And you can personalize them. So you, as the project that implemented PeopleSoft, right, or the department head, you can say, hey, I want everyone with this role to have these 8 tiles, and optionally, if they want to add one of these other 3 or 5 or so tiles, they can. So this is just a demo of kind of personalizing that dashboard. But I'll talk about tiles as this plays out. So tiles are great. They can be more than just a navigation, like just a cute little image that's going to navigate me to the right spot. A lot of them can be built on queries, going back to the query, right? And it can give you information. Hey, it's, you've got 27 of these to go fix. You can do things like countdowns for open enrollment, how close you're getting to that. So you can display bar charts or pie charts, or, it can be displayed in any way, like your pivot grids, or it can just be, be as simple as just a navigation tool. It can also provide data that'll let you know, do I want to navigate in there, right? Do I contextually need to go into there? Payroll, when my last pay date was, right? So some good examples here. All right, now we're getting into another great way. This is the Simplified Analytics, right? Pivot grids of Simplified Analytics. And users should be able to build these. I think we show one later. We won't have time for it today, but this is, I think users should be thinking of, what if I had this extra information? And you should be telling IT, right? Or building it yourself, because they've made them real easy. All right, here comes another one. This is related actions they're about to click on. So we're in the middle of a simplified analytic, and we're gonna take an action, right? So I want to contextually navigate. You gave me this information. I see what this problem is. I want to notify employees or view or approve absences. But so the power of combining 2, 3, 4 of the great ways to navigate in one business process is really powerful. That's really what we wanted to show here, right? So you might be thinking, well, this is like a report, and reports don't help you navigate. Well, they do if you're using them right? It's no longer, what is it, 20 years ago, like reports were the last thing we did in projects, and they were just getting the information out of the system. Well, now it should really help you do your business process. So please think of analytics and visualizations and even like reports as something that can give you information at the right point, the right time, the right people, and then give you navigation from there to go fix whatever, right? We talked a bit about thresholds earlier. What do you want the threshold to be and when you should get notified? And I think you get the idea. So the next one that's going to come up is, we don't need to save changes. So I think we're going to get to notifications, and let's get to work centers there. Yeah. All right, here's a work center. Again, 11 years old. Are you using these? They're almost like, there's a lot of things now that are replaced. You don't need a work center for everything anymore. But there are still times and places where you have certain roles, you have certain users, you're like, I want you to just be able to go into one place and not have to navigate, right? All the exceptions. Hey, if there's 10 of these inactive employees, you can just fix all 10 right there. You click on it, you don't leave the page, you don't leave the component, right? You get a pop-up window where you need to fix things. Of course, you've got queries and reports down below and links. We'll talk about nav collections in a minute. But, of course, they're personalizable. They're almost all fluidized now. Like, come on, Oracle, fluidize the last few, please. But the pages within here now are pretty much all in Fluid. So you guys are probably all using. What was the percentage, Scott, on work centers? Did you look at that one? Hopefully everybody's using work centers already. 73%. All right, 27. Let's go. You're in the right place. What about pivot grids? What was our percentage on pivot grids? 45. So there's
45.
Still, yeah, they're still in. Well, it's 17 planning, right? Hey, I know we want to use this. That's great. We want to get going on pivot grids and simplified analytics. Hey, good news. You waited so long that they've really improved them. They're easy to configure now. You can put them anywhere. All right, let's move along. Okay, so a commercial break from your sponsor. This doesn't count as one of my 8. If you like Form and Approval Builder, you'll love GTE Form. So there's a company getting tailored. They sell this e-form. Again, just use Form and Approval Builder if it works for you. That's great. But if you're struggling with it, if it's not as easy to build, it's not powerful enough for you, if it doesn't have the, if it's not, the e-form is configurable for dependencies. Hey, if this happens, then I want to display these other fields. You can report on the data out of there. So there's a few differentiators. But anyway, you either use PeopleSoft Form and Approval or GTE Forms. 9 great ways just didn't rhyme. So, but it really is a navigation principle, I think, if you're using it right. There's customers that will stand up like an easy to use page, like consolidating. Maybe there's a page in PeopleSoft that's just, or a component. Now there's 3, 4, 5 pages it takes to enter this data. There's a lot of white space. You're like, come on, we've all got big browsers these days and multiple of them, right? So you can get more data on there. I want to simplify this data capture page. And so they'll use a form or an e-form for that. There's also, forms sometimes kick off a business process. So I'm showing a handful of them here. If you lean in and squint a little bit, security requests is a common form. Hey, I need access to this page, rather than everything going through help desk. Like, hey, let's give a page in PeopleSoft to say I'm trying to get somewhere, and that routes a business process, right? Questionnaires, the bottom left one there is a questionnaire. If you're trying to put a questionnaire out, this could be even outside your employees, right? Suppliers, customers, students, what have you. Anyway, I think you get the idea on forms, surveys, self-service, anything self-service really, for a simple user. And I will say that, forms and e-forms can be used on a small form factor, right? Your phone. So this is a pretty powerful one, taking employee self-service, say, hey, let's simplify a lot of onboarding, and let's add, maybe to the deliver one, let's add, hey, a veteran status, and you get to see how that's a bit conditional here in a minute. If you say yes or no, you'll get different sub questions. We didn't ask the question on forms, I guess, because it's not one of our 8 great. Plus, if you answer my polls, you get more points, and we all want these pathable quest points, right? 25 points. They really know how to motivate us. Do they show the list anywhere of the point leader and what do?
Dude, there's a leaderboard somewhere. I haven't checked it out.
I don't think. What does that person win? They don't win anything. Let's kick something in. We'll give them an e-form. Can I do that? But my boss isn't on. Maybe. Okay. Back to regularly scheduled programming. How many great ways are we through? Who knows? I lost count. This is an 859 image or video. We'll let it play. So many enhancements. So if you've been listening to me say that search is my very favorite of the 8 great ways to navigate, then you're really tuned in to me or my Twitter handle. And it's been totally enhanced. I think Paco's got it now and his team's got it, because they're like, let's put the search front and center right on top, and let's really improve the search. So the blue icons there are saying, hey, recent, like you searched on this and you found it recently. Like, I wish I had that. Who uses search in their Outlook or in their their email, right? Again, I kind of say email is old school, but finally they got search in there, so you can really find emails quickly. Well, with search in PeopleSoft, you can also say, I only want to search like within general ledger or within expenses or within, within company directory, right? Right. If you said Bill, like what would come up, right? My name's Bill. But if you said, I want to search with employee directory Bill, you're more likely to find me than all these invoices, right? So here's a case where the user's like, I got to find this journal entry, and one I didn't finish yet. And so there it is when I typed incomplete, right? So it's got some keyword searching as well as just like typing a business unit and saying I want to search within GL. And now when I go back, it's one of my recents. So that shows the real-time nature. So not only did they make for search front and center and improve it and give you keywords and give you the category, the general letters, the category here, but it also went real-time, right? So as soon as, any change, if I just entered the journal, in this case, I just searched on it. So it went from like a item below to it's one of my recents that I used. Anyway, very powerful. Search is the future. Trust me. If you're not using it yet, start now. It's the easiest way to navigate, right? You don't have to remember all that employee directory. The millennials will love this because it's just like what I'm thinking, right? I mean, what do you search in Amazon or anywhere else, right? Your favorite song on your music player, like you just type in whatever it is you want to type. My dog's coming to say hi. Hi, stay there. search is the best. It's just how your brain thinks. You can type it in. You're gonna start your navigation in your business process. A little bit more on search. Well, let's move along. In the interest of time, people want to get a second cup of coffee at the end of this. Navigation collections were enhanced. I never really recommended them to customers before, but I think I will now, right? Because before to me it was like, well, you're just making sense out of the stupid old menu structure and putting it somewhere else. But now you can create tiles off them, and then you can use all the tile logic I talked about. You can put logic in your tile. So should I go into this? Should I start a business transaction? And you can put these tiles on a dashboard, of course. And so you can have an entire dashboard that's really just a nav collection. And again, pretty configurable. So you don't really need IT to do this. Don't get rid of your whole IT staff. Please keep them on board. But so much more now is configurable by the end users. And at least if you're an end user, you're in the business, you know what to request, right? Come to these conferences, hit Quest, hit other user group communities, and know what you can request. And of course, it's all personalizable, is what we're showing now. But here, the whole time dashboard here, it's just a nav collection, right? So you as an organization decided, well, I don't really love the navigation or the dashboard that came from Oracle. I need it personalized for my business. Create a nav collection. It takes minutes or hours. It doesn't take days or weeks. Okay, and it's this is not an 8 great way, but this is just a chance to say whether it's a nav collection or anything else now in PeopleSoft that's been fluidized. You can be, you could always be agnostic to what device you are on, right? Am I a phone, a tablet, a laptop, desktop? But what we were finding out at customers was when it got down to the phone and a really small form factor, you were kind of wishing you'd design the page differently, especially time capture, right? Come back and look at show of hands. Some people haven't reacted in a while. Show of hands, like did people say, I really need a new form factor for time, right? Like the problem is there's 7 days in a week, and it just naturally is a horizontal scroll, right? And so you're like, but my phone is bigger this way. And so now you say, well, let's just design a whole new page for small form factor. So it is another page you have to build, but it's such a better user experience. And when the user goes into enter their time in my example or any other page, Fluid now is smart enough to say, I'm going to send them to the small, I see what device they're on. I'm going to send them to the small form factor, page for time capture instead of the large form factor page. So that was something big that has really helped navigation. Ooh, you could have had a video. Sorry. We're moving on. All right, and the last of our 8 great ways is chatbots. Hopefully this week you've hit a chatbot session or 7. I think there have been several. We did a really good one. The Gideon and Newbury team did a really good one the other day. If you haven't watched one yet, go back and watch that one. And it's sort of like the new penultimate way to navigate PeopleSoft, right? Because it's conversational. I don't know. What was our percentage on, has everyone filled out our polls? Chatbots. I have to vote to see the answer.
7% using chatbots.
7 using, but how many learn? Only 7 learning?
Oh,
all right, that
13.
number's going up. People are, fill out the poll back on the Pathable. Learning is moving up. Maybe the no is like a not yet, but I would think there'd be more people like, I'm learning, I've hit some things this week. It really, again, search is my personal favorite. It's the way my brain works. But like my wife would answer differently. She wants it to be conversational. So let me see. Am I running this script yet? Yeah. All right. So PeopleSoft delivers a lot of the skills, and one of the, you have to subscribe to use the cloud connector, the digital assistant. But PeopleSoft, if you're paying your PeopleSoft means you're getting the skills for free, and that's the more expensive part to code on your own. So there's a lot of skills they've delivered to us. Here's one for absence management. So I want to take a day off. When do you want to take a day off? Like you can speak this into your phone. That's coming. You let your iPhone translate it or type it. You can type, if you're on a laptop, desktop, you can literally type it in kind of like you're seeing my window here. If you're on your phone, it does the same, right? The background image doesn't really matter. It's over on the far right there, the Picasso. So right in the middle of my putting in for my day off, I'm like, wait a minute, I'm going to need someone to cover for me. Let me call Vicky, right? And so right in the middle of saying I want a day off, and that's the power of Picasso. People are like, why do they use Picasso? Because it persists and it remembers what you were doing, right? Whether you're in HR or Fin or wherever you are, you can, all right, hey, do you want to continue with that day off now that looks like you've talked to Vicky? So absence management and employee directory are two skills that were demoed there. Let's go to, when does your absence end? It helps walk you through it. You can just type it all in. The other thing you can do when you're in the chatbot is you can say, like, take me there. Like, I'd rather finish this business transaction on the full window, right? I'm on my desktop. I got this big monitor. I want to go into the main screen. So take me there while I was like, you can try to finish it in the conversational one if you're good at talking to chatbots. And I think we are all getting better at that. If you're shopping at Home Depot or whatever, everyone's got these chatbots now. But you can always do take me there.
Bill, I was going to ask, so anybody who responded, yes, they are using chatbots, if you wouldn't mind maybe letting us know either in the Pathable window or in the Zoom chat what you're using it for, that would be interesting.
Yeah, which of the skills? Or did you build your own skills? Because you can do that. All right, let's look at another one now that we got our absence in. The next one's, I think, requisition. All right, let me get my mouse out of the way. Where's the laptop I ordered? I haven't gotten it yet. So you can, requisitions is a good one. Let's go to payroll. Payroll is everybody's favorite, right? Like, let me see my last paycheck. Show me my paycheck. And then the buttons are there, like if you want to be guided through your path, they're kind of guessing at what your next question is going to be. What are the details, right? Or you can type in, show the details, or you can go specifically, show me my deductions. Well, wait a minute, why do I have this many deductions? How deep the skill goes, they deliver pretty deep. A lot of times, you'll make a project out of it, right? It can take you days to implement chatbots. To get more value from it, you have to do things like, well, I don't know what PTO is, but let me type, vacation. So you're changing some of the utterances and intents, but PeopleSoft gives you the skill, right? So you end up taking weeks to implement. Again, this isn't in months or years to implement. You can do it as few as days, right? We have some competitors out there saying, oh, we'll get you live in 5 days, right? Well, yeah, no problem, but you want it to work for you too. So you still want to do like a little bit of discovery, design, configure a few more utterances and intents and make it really work for your org if you're doing it right. Or just win the quickest to implement, and Rebecca will stand you on stage. All right. So what are some others? So expense reports. Why was my expense report denied? Expense reports are never denied during COVID, right? W-2. Show me my W-2. This one could be grouped more by our payroll one, I guess, if we're grouping this right. I want to change my withholding on my W-2. All right, you can route to that, right? Suppliers. So the supplier portal is another nice use more in the FSCM space. Anyway, I think people get the idea. If you have questions on chatbots, again, we did a session. Jeff Robbins, R-O-B-B-I-N-S. You could search in Pathable chatbots Robbins. It's a really nice. It's a mini session again, so you don't have to sit through the whole hour. Okay, so kind of winding down. We'll look at questions here in a minute. We'll share poll results. I guess we've been sharing them as we go. But usually the next question is, how do I get started? Right. So I like what I heard today. We do need to overhaul our navigation. Our users are complaining. PeopleSoft's not stodgy, right? PeopleSoft's not old, right? We're old. So, how many people raise their hand? I'm doing PeopleSoft 20 years plus. You just have to do a small project. Start with a business case, right? These users are complaining. Great, there's a business case. Or I see place for efficiency. I see a place for automation. Look at the technical impact of that, right? Get IT involved. What would that mean? Do we customize that area? What can we uptake? Are we on the latest people tools? Get your users to kind of do it. It says functional impact on the screen, but the business impact of this, right? You're basically building your pros and cons for an analysis, and then get it in the roadmap, right? Plan months out. Don't react and what do we want to do today? Everyone's busy. Everyone's CIO's got them a 3-year roadmap. Leave some time and space in there for usability, for user improvements. Maybe first deploy it just in a proof of concept for one group. In fact, what I say on the whole 8 Great Way type project, right? Do it role by role. Pick a role. Start with somebody you've got some young users maybe who are more willing to change, or just your visionary team, right? You got a great manager over there, but pick, and they've got some pain points. Pick a role and take all those tools in that tool belt. Remember that tool belt page. And, don't just like take work centers and like pass out work centers, right? Like you're bringing in donuts in the morning, coffee, right? Use all the tools in the tool belt. You're an architect. You're building a house. You got to use all the tools. And seriously, spend a day looking over their shoulder. What are you doing? Why are you doing that? You just said 8 clicks before you finish that process. Like, what if I could get it down to 1? If I added a related action right there, like literally, they'll probably hug you. It'll be amazing. Well, everything's virtual now. They won't do that, but you'll get one of those thumbs ups on the screen. So that can be very rewarding. But again, it's just a bit of a call to action for all of us, PeopleSofters. Spend a little bit on usability, do some projects. You don't have to hire consulting. Sure, call me. We'd love to do it for you. But the point is, you can probably do a lot of this. A lot of it's configurable. You just have to make the time for it. Because if you don't, again, 3 years from now, you can say, oh, they say PeopleSoft. I haven't used PeopleSoft in 10 years. They look and they're like, it looks the same, right? No. WorkCenter's been out 11 years. So take the time. All right. I'll leave my contact info up. Always welcome to reach out to me. Any questions coming in the chat, or the questions are pathable? Scott, what was the winner? Who's using what the most?
Homepages, tiles, and dashboards is 80%.
Okay, that one makes sense, right? Like,
yep.
It's not hard. It's there. It is the first thing that they see in the morning when they get out on the right side of bed.
Work centers is pretty high, 75%.
Work centers is high. Yeah. Okay, I'm here now. I can
search.
Pivot grids. I like the 50, but here's the thing with pivot grids and simplified analytics. Don't think of them as, well, I already have a warehouse, right? Your warehouse should be like your management reports, right? You want to give your transactional reports, your operational reports right in your system of record, right in PeopleSoft, right? Whatever your ERP is. All the new ERPs are doing that. You can do embedded analytics. You can do embedded reporting. Right? This has been out a long time. What was my years on pivot grids? It's forever now. So, PeopleSoft can't do it. We got to move to another software. No, you just have to, it's more than turn it on. I don't want to say turn it on. You have to do these mini projects. So don't think of these as reports for a warehouse. Think of them as, I need this information to start my business process, or in the middle of a business process. Oh, I missed one today. It's actually not one of the 8 great ways, but it's like an anti-great way. If you get these simplified analytics, you can put them in related contents over on the right side of the screen or the bottom of your screen. Like, let me give you some information that's going to help you with the business process you're in so that you don't have to navigate anywhere new, right? So it's like my anti-navigation. So related content. You take analytic, you take whatever, take your policy page of expenses. Hey, no alcohol, right? And that can be in a related content, or all your policy. That's a terrible example this hour. But related content can be any information brought to a page that is there to help finish that transaction without navigating somewhere else. Okay, let's go back to the percentages, because I said I would go through this. So search, I love it. 60% using search, another 7% planning. So 33% of you, please start. If you need me to come in and talk to your management about how great it is, I will do that. Everyone needs to be using search. Chatbots it's newer, right? So doesn't have as high of uptake now, but I like how many are learning about it. You're here this week. And then Kibana with even better numbers than chatbots. So half of you saying I'm learning, I'm considering, I'm another 15% we're actually starting to implement it. Kibana, we didn't really go over Kibana, but you can take the data in Elasticsearch and create visualizations, more visualizations, similar to like pivot grids and simplified analytics, but more of a visualization for even management reporting. Anyway, go to a Kibana session. That's not this one, but I'm happy to see there's a lot of you considering it. So, well, thank you everybody for coming. Really appreciate the early morning here in the U.S. Europe, I'm jealous of you. You're closer to Friday. Everyone have a great day and thank you much.